Good morning, dear friends from the media fraternity. Thank you so much for coming and covering this next generation GST reforms of BJP Nagaland. Before I stress into the GST reform, I would like to highlight some of the activities that we have taken so far. Under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, on 3rd September 2025 at the 56th GST Council, this reform has been taken place, and from 22nd September till 20th of October 2025, this GST reform campaign will continue all over the nation. Therefore, BJP Nagaland also, along with the nation, we are continuing this campaign till the 20th of October. During this campaign, we have constituted district committee in all the district of Nagaland, and through this district committee, the new GST reform, which is beneficial for the common people, the middle class, the businessmen, the traders, and especially the MSME unit, how beneficial it is for the people has been appraised throughout the state. Akiti Guanishina, Nagaland DB continue Korigena JSA till the 20th of October. Aro, all over the state, the BJP Karyakatas, itula message luigena till the grassroots, the new GST reforms, kinika beneficial for the people, ase ita koye kena samjay kena peraya jay. Not only that, our elected legislator, led by a honorable Deputy Chief Minister, তাই নিজৰ লৈ কিনা মাৰ্কেট প্লেচেছ দি যাই কিনা interact কৰিছে with the shopkeepers, with the traders, আৰু তাইখান লগা views হতিছে the new GST reforms to কিনিকা আছে, whether it is an advantage or disadvantage to the people কৰি কিনা হতি কিনা পেৰাইছে. We got positive response that the new GST reform is a bond for the society. এতিয়া from 22nd September, the new GST reforms to implement hoise. Aro, itia Modiji goi ase, it is a bonus for Diwali. Kili holo 20th October day, itla campaign end koribo, and 20th October is our Diwali. Diwali laga festival event ase. The new GST reforms to পয়লা 28% GST লৈ থকাটো এতিয়া স্লেশ কৰি কিনা 18% হৈ যাইছে. Likewise, 18% GST লৈ থকাটো the new reforms under there 5% হৈ যাইছে. কোনোবা items kandido 0%, especially daily essentials kan nishina or electronics, small cars, এটকা নিচিনা দে GST তো বেশি ডাউন কৰি দিছে. আৰু এইটো through this new GST reforms, আমি can citizens of India, especially the poor and the middle class, বেশি benefit হয়ে আছে. Instead of buying things at a higher price, at a cheaper price টি পাই আছে. Likewise, the factories in the industries, তাই can be আগে দে GST high থাকা টাইম দিতো উপায় নাথাকি কিনা এটা higher rate দি থাকি যায়. ওইলে বি এতিয়া new GST আহে কিনা when the GST has been slashed, এতিয়া তো তাই can be factory হবে, industry টি হবে, manufacturing at a lower cost বনাই আছে, and that same cost it is benefiting the people of India. That is some few points on the GST I would like to read out. A new economic dawn. This next generation GST reform is a historic milestone for our nation. It is not merely a policy adjustment, it is the culmination of a decade of the Modi government, relentless, stable, and visionary economic management. The main message is simple and powerful. GST rate are slashed across the board. GST rate cut have been implemented on 99% of goods in the 12% bracket and 90% in the 28% bracket. This will boost domestic consumption by nearly 2 lakh crore, which is equal to 4 times the BMA allocation and 10 times the BLI scheme allocation, strengthening the country economy. This is an immediate and direct victory for every Indian. This year, no matter which corner of the country you are in, prosperity is assured. This year, Lakshmi ji sabka ghar aayenge. That is the slogan. This reform is fundamentally about reducing the tax burden on every single citizen. A tax reduced burden directly translates to enhanced purchasing power, putting more money into the hand of our people, the government, the farmer, the small business owner, the workers, and especially our mother and sisters who manage household budget. This empowers citizens to spend, save, and invest as they see fit, driving a new wave of consumption and economic activity from the ground up. And now, the law and simplified GST with only two slabs will make life easier for every household and business. PM Modi ji focused on stimulating consumption, stand in contrast to the UPA credit-driven approach during the 2008 crisis, which led to the high NPA and inflation. In contrast, the new approach has been centered around increasing the number of taxpayers and hence enabling the lowering of the tax burden on each individual. This has been achieved even to individuals with income below 12 lakhs are now exempted from paying income tax. A situation unprecedented in the history of modern India. Corporate tax cut in 2019 by the Modi government were one of the steepest reductions globally, allowing companies to reinvest and create jobs, directly benefiting middle class employment. The foundation and reform, a decade of hard work, presented as a monumental Diwali bonus. Then this next generation GST reform shows the Modi government active commitment to continuous improvement in the best interest of Bharat. The new structure is explicitly pro-people. Essential are at 0 to 5%. Common goods move down to 5%, while luxury and scenes goods are taxed higher. This progressive model protects the poor and the middle class while securing the national exchequers. This historic step wasn't possible overnight. It is built on a decade of repairing the economy inherited from the UPA, where a tiny taxpayers has supported over 140 crore people. Through relentless effort to formalize the economy and build trust, Modi government has more than doubled the number of taxpayers from 65 lakhs in 2017 to over 1.51 crore today. Crucially, these next generation reforms are a victory for cooperative federalism. It was achieved through the unanimous consensus of all states in the GST Council. It is a powerful example of how under Modi government leadership, states from every corner of India, regardless of the party in power, can come together to place the nation interests above partisan politics. Over the next decade, our expanded tax base directly funded national priorities, building world-class infrastructure, modernizing our defense, and delivering massive leak-proof welfare through direct benefit transfer. On infrastructure, growing highway by 60%, doubling airport, quadrupling metro line network, and transforming railway with 144 Vande Bharat train. On defense, boosting local manufacturing by 174%, increasing export by 34-fold, and securing our nation with advanced indigenous weapons. On direct welfare, the Modi government has ended corruption and empowered the poor by increasing direct benefit transfer 90-fold, ensuring 6.83 lakhs crore now reaches beneficiaries annually without any middleman. On Garib Kalyan, lifting nearly 25 crore people from poverty, feeding 80 crore citizens with free ration, and building 3.8 crores homes under BMEY. On entrepreneurship, growing startup from just 350 to 1.5 lakhs and funding 52 crore small business with more than 32 lakhs crore in Mudra loan. As we discuss the reform, we should appreciate Modi's vision for implementing well thought out reforms at the right time and in a calculated manner to reduce the tax burden on our population. Implementing such massive tax relief when global headwinds are strong and regional instability is high is a testament to Indian economy resilience. This is the same confidence built on a decade of painstaking economic management that allow India to stand firm and protect its interests against foreign pressure like the US tariff. Now, this was the message that was sent by the central government to all the citizens of India. Now, I would like to give time uh, to my colleague, Ms. Tirali Izang, who is the State Secretary of BJP in Nagaland.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I would like to start a few comparison of taxes levied during UBA and TA's government. Here are some few differences or comparison items. UBS era tax slab and TS era tax slab. I will just go through it. Cement 30% during UBS era, NTA 18%, sanitary beds 13%, UBS era 0, pens 30% during UBA era, 5% NTA era, footwear 18% to 5% during UBA, NTS era, television sets 30% during UBS era, NTS era 18%, refrigerator 30% during UBS era, NTS era 18%, restaurant 21% during UBS era, NTS era 5%, shampoo 30% during UBS era, NTS era 5%, coffee 30% during UBS era, NTS era 5%, toothpaste 30% during UBS era, NTS era 5%, mineral water 28% during UBS era, NDAs 5%, cosmetics 30% during UBS era, NDAs 5%, chocolates 30% during UBS era, NDS era 18%, sweets 18% during UBS era, 5% during NDS era, plywood 30% during UBS era, NDS era 18%, sanitary ware 30% during UBS era, NDS era 18%. Here, kun bra itu kan homi ase, itu kan American consumers kan bi jani na thagi le pal na itu all some essential commodities itu kan nimide American itu jana itu ase.
Acha, through this press conference, I would like to send a message to the people of Nagaland. American sub jane as a tax devolution. That is the 50% tax. American la central government bra state government ki dia laga. American naga manno bisibak dusra state bra he business kore kena. Saman holi bi kini kena ahi ase. No one thing. In short, Assam ra amikan saman kini ase bole to that tax goes to the state government of Assam, not to the government of Nagaland. Ito karne para tak amikan Nagaland government kimi modab kore kena bahar pra saman nolai kena parile Nagaland ki available ase at a cheaper price lobole koshish korile bishi pa. Kili holi do it comes under the state GST category. State ti lwa laga tax to central government लेके ना 50% state government की दी दिया जाए एक ता आसे central GST इधर तो की tax ले आसे इधर तो central government ले लो एक ता आसे integrated GST that is integrated GST दी तो एक ता state पर लोआ जुती अमेरिकन असम पर लोइसे तो असम लगा भी तादी अलग काटी के ना दी वो नागालैंड लाती भी अलग काटी के ना दिया जाए ओली भी पारा ता state GST तो अमेरिकन प्रमोट কৰিব লাগে আৰু এটা প্ৰমোট কৰিলে আমি খান বি এটা যোৱা সপ্তাহ সেন্ট্ৰেল গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট ৰিলিজ কৰি দিয়া নিচিনা টেক্স ডিভলিউশ্যন তাতে আমি খান বি টেক্সটো হাই কৰে কিনা বেক টু দ্য ষ্টেট গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট আমি খান নাগা পাব্লিকে বেনিফিট কৰিব না এইটো বি জনাই দিয়া আছে থেংক ইউ so much my media fraternity for coming covering this press conference on next GST reform. Thank you.